Hello and welcome. My name is Tan, and today I want to talk about a common question that I get, and that is, when should I use AI? Um, and if you were to Google this, a lot of the answers or a lot of the responses are actually all very technical responses. So I actually want to maybe answer this from the non-technical side. So let's get started. Number one, or the first question I ask myself is, can a human do it? And the reason why I ask this question is because it helps frame the problem. By asking this question, it helps me think about the two extremes, right? So on one end, people overuse AI, and they don't stop to think that maybe just a person could just do it and just be really easy. On the other end, people think AI can do anything, and, and so if a problem is borderline too hard for even the smartest human to solve, then your AI model is probably going to have trouble too. Um, now that we've grounded ourselves and we can think in the middle of these two extremes, let's dig a little deeper. So another question I ask myself is, how many humans? In other words, is this a problem of efficiency or speed or scale? Again, this helps frame the problem. As a PM, I always have to consider scalability. Is this going to work long term? This also helps me think about the MVP, as well as the annotation effort. I'll talk about that later. Especially in the beginning of an AI problem, there might not be any labeled data available. So thinking about how many people gives a sense of feasibility. Uh, and speaking of MVP, there are a lot of systems that will usually start out as just human powered, and then they transition to AI. So don't throw away your idea just because it might require some manual effort in the beginning. Um, all of this leads me to the next question, and that uh, is there a ground truth for your problem? Uh, for example, a couple weeks ago, I talked about having a good list of titles, uh, and that is there really a good definition of good? To put this in more technical terms, data scientists will sometimes ask, do you have labeled data? And if you don't, people might go get annotators, or sometimes they might just give up on the problem. So from a PM perspective, it's important to ask this question because if you need annotators, then thinking about this question will also give you a sense of the effort, right? Um, but more importantly, this question helps me think through the problem and helps me uncover whether or not I'm actually solving the right problem. Uh, quick sidebar. If you're not familiar with product management, the reason why product management even exists in the first place is because a lot of products fail because they didn't actually solve the right problem. People work on something, they make assumptions, they think this is the way to go or something along those lines, and they work towards something, but it doesn't actually solve the end user's problem. So a good PM will constantly try to make sure that they are solving the right problem. Uh, so by understanding if a problem has a ground truth, it is just one more layer that I can dig into and get at the root cause of a problem. So in summary, here are the three questions I ask myself. Uh, but it's not really the answers that are important, but rather going through the process of thinking about the problem. So for me to pose questions like these, it helps me because it gets me thinking. If you are not like, well, if you are like me, maybe this will be helpful. But if you don't have an affinity for questions like me, maybe you can leave a comment. Let me know, what gets you thinking about these types of complex problems. Uh, and do you have your own evaluation criteria for when to use AI? Let me know. Leave a comment or any other way. So thanks guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.